Oh man, it's worse. I look like Two-Face. I
You might
tried
as
to
well,
adjust the blinds in the intro. It's not good.
you look like a film noir
I
scene. You
know.
gotta put you in black and white.
I gotta change. I don't know if I could do the whole show like this. I
No, you
apologize,
cannot. No,
everybody.
you cannot. You
Yeah,
cannot.
yeah.
I'll
I
take. I'll
gotta.
take. I'll take you off for a second. I'll take you
All
off for a
right, I
second.
gotta
But
adjust this.
all right, he'll be right back. He's got some technical difficulties on his side. But welcome, regardless, welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. My name is Ryan. I'm one of your hosts, and to my right is a man who just got done adjusting his blinds.
I tried
Dustin
again.
Henry.
This is still bad, but I at least look better than Two-Face now. All
It's
right.
true. It's true. You're not a scene out of a film noir. Oh,
Oh man, natural light. We love it, but sometimes it is the enemy of podcast lighting, everybody.
yes, it is.
Thank you for covering for me, sir. Good morning. I'm
Good
thrilled
morning.
to be here. How are you? I'm ready to talk some football. I'm ready to jump into it, man.
So before the show began, before we actually went live, our friend of the show, Gaz, tweeted the No Credentials Required YouTube Twitter channel saying 10:15 and 10 not 10 a.m. No credentials required. Is Dustin on Texas time?
No, it wasn't me this week. It wasn't me this week. I didn't. Did you tell him about my screw up last week?
I did. We said that. Yeah, we told that story.
Yeah. We did.
I
So,
thought it was
so
6. I thought
shout
it
out
was
to you.
6:30.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. Man, last week my brain was not working, but this week I got Invader back in my cup,
Yeah.
the OG blend. So
Let's
I'm
go.
feeling good.
Let's go. I got me some Invader coffee too. I got the cookie crumble
Oh
going on
man,
today.
that's
Got
one of
bad
my
Santa.
favorites.
I got bad Santa in the auxiliary or the ammo stash, so to speak. So it's Invader
Yeah.
coffee because they're veteran owned. But
Hmm.
visit our anyway. Invader coffee, great stuff. Excellent stocking stuffer for Christmas, by the way, because Christmas shopping season is nigh.
Yes.
I am nigh. But we're going to get to the things in just a moment. We're going to talk about week 12 in the NFL. We're going to preview that. We're going to talk about the Bills Texans game from Thursday night. Talk about our picks for week 12 of the NFL and our Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge and reveal our favorite athletes to wear the number 85. My beard is looking weird. It's
No, man, I was thinking it was looking regal before the
there we
show.
go. Yeah, that's a little bit.
My hair.
My hair. Before we get into this, before we get into heavy discussions about the NFL, let's just remind people at home, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required on social media. You can also check out our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. And on the podcast side, hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and our host, which is Podbean, freshly brewed. And don't forget to hit that notification on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when shows are up and live, so you know when there are show announcements, like I put up on the community post this week for our announcement from Tuesday about kind of switching some things up on the YouTube channel, and when we put up show clips. So check us out there. Today we are on the Belly Up Twitter channel. So Belly Up Twitter, if you're watching the Belly Up Twitter channel, thank you for tuning in. Please go follow us on social media for and just know when we're live. On the podcast side, rate, review, comment, 5-star rating would be helpful. Leave a review on whichever podcast platform you can go to, either Apple, Good Pods, Podchaser, any of those podcast platforms. Leave us a review. We'll even read it on the air. And if you're watching or listening on Spotify, and you're watching on replay on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel, leave us a comment in the comment section. It drives people to the show. It tells people, hey, there's some people who are commenting on the show, and this might be a cool show to listen to. So, and yes, we are a cool show to listen to. We'll get some comments in the comment section in just a moment. But Dustin, I know we got a late start this morning again, but that's okay. But this particular tune, it is never, ever It's never late. It's always on time.
It's like Gandalf the Grey. It arrives precisely when it means to. It's chime time.
It certainly is. Friend of the show, Gaz, saying, "Good morning, Dad."
Good morning, guys. And just so you know, guys, I didn't forget. I remember your idea about a fantasy football league where we go head to head, people at Belly Up versus people in the radio world. So we can make this happen. I'm ready to go. Although based on the way my teams are, it's not good. It's not good. And also, before we proceed, shout out to the people at Podbean. There's a piece of audio gold that Ryan did in there where he said freshly brewed with a little sing-song tune. Podbean, pay Ryan and let him use that. You can use that as your jingle.
Well, it was Dustin's idea during our recording of The Last Dance, where he said, every time I think of Podbean, I think of Podbean freshly brewed podcasts. So,
oh man, I forgot that. I forgot I said that.
So Podbean, if you're listening, we'll take your money. You can use my jingle. You can get with royalties. Gaz is also asking, Dustin, what's the morning weather in Texas like?
It's probably warmer than where I am right now. Central Time. I apparently am functioning on Central Time. It's a meme now, everybody.
Some people call it God's time. No, Eastern Time is God's time.
EST feels right, except during football season. Then I wish I was on West Coast, Best Coast time, because then you'd be finished with all the games at like 8 at night. Uh-oh. Am I frozen? Or are you?
Oh,
I do
there
not.
we go.
Oh. Okay. I was going to be like, is it me?
No, it was me.
All right.
It's me. It's DDP.
We're on one this morning.
We are on a heater this morning, my friends.
Yeah.
Dan from the Time to BS podcast saying his name and he appears.
I believe in. Yeah.
And is also asking, Dustin, what happened to your lighting? And are you trying to shoot a boudoir shot for yourself?
We tried to address it, Dan. We tried. Natural light is killing me.
He also says, Dustin, you were hanging out with Kevin too much.
Yeah, hanging out. The thing is, Kevin and I, we did link up almost identically on our top 3 Thanksgiving sides. But I changed one of mine on purpose so that it wouldn't be exactly like Kevin's list.
Yeah, and Dan saying, EST, shout out Bianca Belair. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and Gaz is going on about professional wrestlers' cakes. Okay, listen, all right.
God.
It's a family show, Gaz. All right.
Oh man,
we are on something this morning. There's something in our Vader coffee this morning for sure.
Oh yeah,
it's the Christmas blends, man. That's what's getting to us.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Thursday night's football game. Enough about cake, guys. Enough about cake chat. All right. Enough about cake. We're going to concentrate on football. Speaking of football, the Houston Texans on Thursday night, they stuffed. And speaking of Thanksgiving, they stuffed the Buffalo Bills 23-19. I watched the highlights of this game, but I want to get my co-hosts' feelings about this game or thoughts about this game. Why don't you go ahead and get us started off?
Well, Ryan, it's funny because I had to catch up with this game too. Thursday night games, the last few weeks, things I've missed them because life happens. But I always try to catch up because I like to know what happened in the NFL. I was not expecting this result. Depending Sunday's results and Mondays, this could be a candidate for the biggest upset. Even though I view it as an upset, but then as I say that out loud. This Texans defense, I think we need to acknowledge, and this is coming from Seahawks fan right here.
Oh,
the Texans defense is very, very good. They might be pound for pound one of the best defenses in the NFL in a year where we have some standout defenses. Because don't look now, but the Eagles are starting to get their defense right. They're not winning games because of their offense; they're winning because of their defense. And we know what the Seahawks and Rams did to each other last week. It was a defensive battle. But this Texans defense, there's something going on with Josh Allen. He is, by his standards, he is regressing. The Bills' yardage total for this game, they beat the Texans handedly in total yardage. But it didn't matter because the Texans defense was doing the classic bend but don't break thing. The Bills could not capitalize on their opportunities. Willie Marks is the running back for Houston. D'Amico Ryans, here's a little piece of advice because when I was watching the highlights, Willie Marks is your running back. I love Nick Chubb, okay? Nick Chubb, massive respect to Nick Chubb for coming back from the injuries but it is painfully obvious Nick Chubb is not what he used to be. He does not have it anymore. Houston, if you want to keep your season alive, which you're doing, give the ball to Woody Marks more. Davis Mills, we talked about it a little bit on Seahawks Sessions last night. Davis Mills is proving how important it is to invest in a backup quarterback because he is doing just enough. His numbers weren't eye-popping last night, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he's doing just enough to keep the Texans alive. And when you have a defense, this defense sacked Josh Allen, which Josh Allen is hard to bring down. He's mobile and he's big and he's strong. They sacked him 8 times. I think, Ryan, the Texans defense, not to take anything away from them because what a performance. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. One of them was late as he was trying to do some late game heroics. I think it's a few things. The Bills, I think Josh Allen is feeling the pressure. He knows that their window is closing. They don't have a number 1 receiver. With apologies to Khalil Shakir, you're better than I'll ever be at anything, okay? You have made the NFL. You are playing, but a number 1 receiver, Khalil Shakir, is not. He had a good game last night with in terms of reception and yardage. But again, the Bills couldn't. The only one who scores with reliability on this offense, it's a 2-man show. It's Josh Allen and it's James Cook. The Bills are one-dimensional, and I think they have issues with their offensive line. That's what I noticed watching this. The Bills might be in trouble here, and the Texans, it's impressive because we all left them for dead. But they're not. That defense is good enough to carry that team. And CJ Stroud was playing better before he got hurt. So if he comes back and is any semblance of the quarterback that he was last year, or if they get lucky enough and he turns back the clock and is the quarterback from his rookie year, the Texans could make a late run because they still have some divisional games left, if memory serves. But I think this speaks more to the Bills really needed that number 1 receiver at the trade deadline. They needed someone to take the pressure off of James Cook and Josh Allen because if you stop James Cook and Josh Allen, James Cook, he had a touchdown in this game, a great 45-yard touchdown run. But after that, I think he finished the night with 117 yards, but he didn't
hit over 100 yards.
So they didn't contain James Cook, but they didn't let James Cook run all over him either. And if you shut him down, and Josh Allen, with the Bills offense constructed the way it is, he has to have a perfect game every night, and he has to run it in himself too. And I think the pressure is getting to him because we're seeing some things that we haven't seen since Josh Allen's earlier time in the league, closer to when he was a rookie. And beyond that, before he really got his turnovers under control, I think he's reverting back to trying too hard to make plays, and as a result, he's making mistakes. But he couldn't be relaxed back there. The Texans defense was all over him.
Yeah. This Texans defense is special. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. They started 0-3. We're all questioning, man, is this Texans team is regressing. We talked about CJ Stroud and his game and how he's been kind of off. Hasn't played the last 2 games, and they've won the last 2 games, not because of their offense, but as you mentioned, Dustin, because of their defense. And D'Amico Ryans has got his defense playing spectacularly lately. And they did on national streaming television. That's 3 words I don't want to ever say in my mouth ever again, but here we are. These are those days with NFL and with coming soon, Major League Baseball coming to streaming.
On Netflix now.
On Netflix. And for the first time in like over 30 years, not to get off topic here, but the Major League Baseball won't be on ESPN on Sunday nights.
Yeah, that is crazy to me because that feels like it's been forever. And I mean, we will undoubtedly talk about this when we transition to the spring and stuff. I don't want to get off topic, but I have a lot of memories associated with Sunday Night Baseball. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be an adjustment. And I know obviously we don't follow the NBA much on this show, but I can tell you it's weird to turn on TNT on Thursday nights and the NBA isn't there. It's very strange, you know.
Yeah, it's very much like, I mean, they have the NHL, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing for them. These eyes will keep on there. And they also got AEW, and I guess TNT is also going to be showing some college football playoff games next couple seasons as well. So they got some stuff. Turner Sports is doing their thing.
Yeah.
So back on topic, NFL. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more on Thursday for our Thanksgiving special.
Woo! Oh man, we did not plan that, everybody.
No, we didn't. That was just providence, serendipity, fate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
it happened. It happened, folks. It happened. So let's talk about this this game. I did not watch this game because I was finishing up the Dallas Cowboys documentary on Netflix that we're going to talk about on Thursday. That'll be our primary topic, along with the 3 games that happened that day, and maybe I'll bring back some hot food takes as well.
Ooh, yeah, I think we're going to have to.
We're going to have to. But we are at week 12, finally, or not finally, but wow, we're at week 12 already.
Yeah.
We're starting to learn some things about these teams. First, in particular, the Texans. I mean, unlike other teams who have good defense but cannot produce points on offense, looking at you, Cleveland, the Texans are doing just enough with an offense that lacks talent in different areas like wide receiver. I mean, obviously, Tank Dell's not there. Stephon Diggs is not there from last year. Yeah, but they're relying on Woody Marks. I think I saw a tweet yesterday from Rappaport saying that Joe Mixon is still he may not play this year.
Yeah, I thought I saw that it was verified that he will not. He is not coming back. So,
and
man,
Woody Marks is your bell cow quarterback or bell cow running back for the rest of the season. Where CJ Stroud lands in this conversation, we'll find out hopefully next week when I think they play the Colts next week, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look at the schedule. But they both got some divisional games coming up. But back to the Texans, they're doing just enough to put points on the board. Had a great 2-minute drive to end the first half. Nice little touchdown there by Davis Mills. They got after Josh Allen, and we talk about how teams need to contain Josh Allen. Here's your blueprint. Here's one of your blueprints going forward. You know, I think the Bills still have to play. They still have to play the Patriots again in Foxborough. They only have 2 divisional games left. They got to play the Bills and they play the Jets in Week 18. In the swan song for Rich Stadium, New Era Field, Highmark Stadium, whatever you want to call it, before they move into the new stadium in 2026. At least in the regular season. By then, will we find out if they're going to be in the division picture? I think the division's starting to slip away.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah,
with the Patriots and their schedule, they're the easiest schedule in the NFL. You know, good on you, Roger Goodell. You're making up for all those times you screwed the Patriots back in the day, and now you're giving them an easy schedule with a new head coach and a better offense. Let's look at this Bills team. We are definitely starting to see some cracks in the armor. Part of it is injury. Part of it is the fact that they still don't have a number 1 receiver. We've been talking. This has been the trope for our program. What, the last 3 years, last 2 years? I mean, Amari Cooper had a great job. Did a great job last season when he came at the trade deadline. He was their primary receiver. He decided to look for greener pastures in the offseason. Found out those pastures weren't great and decided to retire.
Yeah. Was Amari Cooper clairvoyant? Because he went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then he retired.
Went back to the Raiders and said, I don't like it here.
Yeah.
Very much like Robert California in The Office. Went to the Scranton office, decided, oh God, I'm not going to be here. So he drove all the way to Florida at Sabres headquarters. But yeah, he saw that situation in Las Vegas and he's like, nope, I'm done. But we're starting to see cracks in the Bills' armor. Granted, they played a pretty good game this year. They got scoring on offense. They got scoring at the special teams level and that kickoff return for a touchdown. Their defense did their job against a lackluster Texans offense. Doesn't have a whole lot of weapons, but they could still score points. But again, the primary concern for this team going forward is wide receiver. It is going to be wide receiver. It has been wide receiver, at least for this season and other seasons, but prior. Josh Allen, yeah, he's got two great tight ends who can catch the ball, but when you need a big play, where's Stephon? There's no Stephon Diggs. There's no Amari Cooper anymore. You can't get the big playability like you used to in the air. You can get on the ground with James Cook because James Cook's having the best year of his career so far.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 yards rushing. But Josh Allen this season hasn't been Superman like we're used to seeing him. Granted, last week had a great game against the Buccaneers, 6 total touchdowns. But at times this year, he's looked ordinary because he doesn't have a premier wide receiver to throw to. Now, will the Bills, they could have addressed this in the trade deadline. I'm sure that there's some names out there. From what I understand, I don't know if you saw this news, Dustin. Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers might be parting ways. There may be a divorce in that future. The 49ers voided his guaranteed money, and he might be in the chopping block soon. So, Buffalo Bills, if you're listening, he might be it.
Yeah, he might be it, depending on how he looks coming back from the injury. That news broke during Seahawks sessions last night. Bit of a marathon ep last night. And I saw Dan said Kevin was in a mood last night's show. Yeah, he was passionate about his food takes. But yeah, that shocked me. That news shocked me. But John Lynch is not messing around. As Kevin said, he didn't mess around on the field. He's not messing around in the front office either.
No. Now, here's a hot takey kind of thing.
Yeah.
A hot takey thought. If the Bills miss the playoffs, and right now they're in a playoff position, but they're in jeopardy with other teams right behind them.
Yeah.
If the Bills miss the playoffs, could we see Sean McDermott be let go? Will the Pagulas look for a new head coach after Black Monday in the first Monday of January 2026?
Here's the thing, Ryan. I kind of agree with you. If the Bills' season goes south, I think they will. Because Sean McDermott, he's done a great job there in Buffalo, but he's also had some moments. Remember the moment where it looked like Josh Allen was borderline concussed and the Bills were backed up in their own end zone last year?
I was against the Texans.
And he let Josh Allen throw out of his own end zone 4 straight times. 4. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. He didn't try to run the ball once.
No.
So, I mean, and there's been other decisions like that. That's just the one that comes close to mind. McDermott is a good coach. I'm not sitting here saying that he's not. But at times there has been decisions where you're like, what are you doing? But yeah, and reportedly the Bills did try to go out and get a number 1 wide receiver. They knew they had this void on their team, but
they were trying to get Jalen Waddle or trying to pry him from the Dolphins, and the Dolphins told him to kick rocks, and they summarily beat them down that Sunday in Miami.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest games of the year.
I have another hot takey thing from this very game before we move on. I don't mean to cut you off there, but Ryan, if the Texans somehow make it to the playoffs, does he have a shot at Coach of the Year? If they do this.
Yes, because if they go to the playoffs, so here's my 4 candidates for Coach of the Year in the AFC. Mike Vrabel, New England, Again, I'm throwing up in my mouth just a little bit talking about saying that.
But you have to. Nothing
I have
against
to
Coach
say it.
Vrabel
I have to be objective and put my fan lens, put my green fan lens aside. Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. Liam Cohen. I'm sorry. I didn't do it right. This guy, Duval. And certainly D'Amico Ryans. This is in the conversation because I'm gonna bring up the standings right now, the playoff standings right now. I've got it loaded up on a tab, and this is what the AFC looks like right now. Denver's got the 1 seed based on a tiebreaker for strength of schedule. And look, Denver's got just like New England. Denver's got a cake schedule. Denver, New England, Indy, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's hanging on by a thread, in my opinion. Chargers, who own a tiebreaker against the Bills, Jaguars, and then right behind the Jaguars, Houston, Kansas City, Baltimore. Now, Baltimore can still capture the AFC North. We talked about that on the last show. Miami, they're kind of creeping. They're creeping in there. It's 4-7. They've won their last 3 games in a row by some act of God. But that's the playoff picture in the AFC right now. So the Texans could certainly make some noise. The Jaguars could certainly still make some noise. The Bills, if we look at their schedule, and I'll stop sharing right now. Their schedule, they're at Pittsburgh, home against the Bengals, at New England, at Cleveland, which could be a trap game for sure because of Cleveland's defense, and we'll find out how Shedeur Sanders plays this week. At home against Philadelphia, and their last game is at home against the Jets, closing out the old barn, the old stadium in Orchard Park. So the Bills could be in trouble, and if they're in trouble, could we possibly see Sean McDermott lose his job?
Yeah,
which would be a huge waste of of this window that Josh Allen currently has. Which again, we've seen stranger things before in the NFL, but we could also argue if Josh Allen's window to win a title in Buffalo is also starting to close a little bit.
Yeah.
So let us know your thoughts, folks, whether in the chat or you're watching on Belly Up Sports YouTube channel, or if you're just an angry Buffalo Bills fan, you want to give me the business. At No Creds REQ on our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Come at us. Tell us we're wrong.
People will. It's the internet.
It is the internet where everybody has a platform, but sometimes not everybody should have a platform. All right, we're gonna take our network mandated commercial break, and we're gonna talk about our friends at Righteous Felon Craft Jerky, the outlaw of the snack world. Forget the gas station stuff. This jerky is all natural, low sugar, and absolutely packed with flavor. Every 2-ounce bag delivers 20 grams of protein, made with beef that has no added hormones, no antibiotics, and no shady business. But jerky is just the beginning. Righteous Felon's lineup also includes beef sticks for on-the-go snacking, tender turkey jerky that's light but still packs a punch and tastes like a Thanksgiving dinner, and authentic South African-style biltong that melts in your mouth. Their flavors range from savory classics like OG Hickory and the victorious BIG, their honey bourbon, to spicy kicks like Habanero Escobar and Carolina Reaper. So whether you want smooth, smoky, or fiery heat, they've got you covered. And don't forget, they even got Wild Ranger dog treats, so your 4-legged sidekick can join the snack game too. Pickles and Logan approved.
Yes.
Head over to righteousfelon.com. Use promo code NOCREDS at checkout to score for a limited time 20% off every order. This makes a great stocking stuffer for the holidays. I love this jerky. It's great stuff. Plus, when you spend over $100, shipping is free. Even if you don't spend $100, they still have $5. It's only $5 shipping, so it's worth the pennies. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky, where flavor is the crime, and you're guilty of enjoying every bite. So yes, so we have a holiday sale right now at righteousfelon.com. You get 20% off your order with promo code NOCREDS at checkout. Actually, I should probably change that banner right there down below, but right now, 20% off for
Awesome.
their holiday sale, their Black Friday sale, and you want to definitely check it out. I ordered using our promo code yesterday after the announcement came out, and it's got some jerky coming to my door sometime early next week. Also some beef sticks. Got 20 beef sticks, the variety beef sticks on the way.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how much I ordered until I put it in the box. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. We're helping ourselves out. But anyway, righteousfelon.com, promo code NoCreds for a limited time, 20% off site-wide. And Righteous Felon Craft Jerky, you get the no credentials required seal of approval. Little puppers. Maybe he would enjoy some craft jerky from Righteous Felon.
I think he would.
If they made some, I would say if they made some fish jerky, he would definitely enjoy it.
Oh yeah, he'd be all over it.
All right, let's talk about Week 12 of the NFL. What's sticking out to us? The most intriguing matchup, and there's only one matchup that I have in mind, Dustin. It's Indianapolis at Kansas City. And I'm just going to say this. I truly don't understand why this game is in the 1 o'clock slot. Why it wasn't flexed over to 4:05 or 4:25. You couldn't have flexed it out, knowing obviously you don't know what you know until you know about this Indianapolis team and about this Kansas City team. But regardless, we got Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson as the announcers for this game. This matchup is going to be basically coming down to the Colts run game, which is ranked 3rd in the NFL, against the Chiefs defense. Their rush defense is ranked 8th in the NFL. Now we got to talk about this Chiefs team. Their defense has been strong. As you've noted, Steve Spagnuolo's teams, they seem to get stronger the more you see them throughout the season. But their offense, to be kind, has been a bit lackluster this season. Now, is this the week we see the Chiefs go into another gear to get to their playoff, to get to the playoffs for another year, or is this a game where we find out that how real the Chiefs are as a Super Bowl contender? And this is a must-win for the Chiefs because the road does not get any easier from here on out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Sure, they get to play the Raiders and they get to play the Titans during the last 6 weeks of the season, but they still got to play Denver again.
Yeah,
they still have to play. I believe they play. Hang on, look at their schedule. I had their schedule up. They're gonna play Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, which is not gonna. Which it's the Cowboys, but it's not going to be easy on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, short week and all that.
Yeah,
and the thing is, Ryan,
and also going to play the Chargers too.
This will be the second time I brought up the NBA on the show, but and it's because I read a book over the summer about the 1980s Los Angeles Lakers.
Yep.
And in that book, they said, some of the Lakers, they admitted, I think it was James Worthy said it. Michael, why can't I think of his name? Michael Cooper, he said it. They said we got to the point where we thought that we were good enough to just turn on the switch for the postseason. And we tried to do it, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. At this point, there were some teams that were younger than us. They had caught up to us. And to me, I don't know if you feel this way, but the Chiefs kind of have a similar feel. The division, by and large, except for the Raiders, has caught up to the Chiefs a little bit. Because people want to throw things at the Bills and say, well, the Bills have had an easy run in the division the last few years. The teams around them aren't very good. If you're going to say that about the Buffalo Bills, you got to say it about the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's not the case this year. The Broncos can hang with the Chiefs. The Chargers can hang with the Chiefs. The Chiefs got some problems. I don't think they're going to be able to flip that postseason switch.
So this is the schedule here on out for the Chiefs. Colts on Sunday, at the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, home against the Texans, the aforementioned Texans, on Sunday night the following week, home against the Chargers, at the Titans, home against the Broncos, at the Raiders. I think they have to, for a chance to get to the playoffs, they have to win out, or at least they can't lose more than 2 games for their playoff chances to stay alive. That starts this Sunday against the Colts, who, again, they're coming off a bye week themselves. So they're nice and fresh and rested. I don't know how much. I know some of their defensive personnel. They were banged up and didn't play against Atlanta in Berlin, but they're going to be getting some of those guys back against this Chiefs team. So this will be one to watch for sure. How about you, Dustin? What's your most intriguing matchup of Week 12?
Man, I surprised myself picking this game, but the more I started typing up in the summary and figuring out the reasons why I was going to pick this game, I'm like, you know what? I kind of talked myself right into it. For me, the most intriguing matchup, and you picked a good one, Ryan. I think it's gonna show us some things. It's gonna be a test for the Chiefs for sure, and the Colts to see if the Colts are for real, because I think their road gets a little tougher moving forward. But for me, it's Steelers versus the Bears. Okay, I said on last week's show. I said on last week's show that I am getting to the point where the Bears are one of the most entertaining teams for me to watch this year, because they're a roller coaster ride. You don't know what you're going to get. Caleb Williams, there are times where he makes throws where you're like, okay, that's why the Bears picked him, and that's why they ran Justin Fields out of town, et cetera, et cetera. That's why they've tried to put all these things around Caleb Williams. He makes these throws, and you're just like, that's unbelievable. And then on the next play, he'll make a play where he overthrows Roman Dunze by 50 feet. And you're like, what is going on? But then
he's mercurial, Dustin.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But you could say that for the whole Bears offense. There's times where it's looked listless, and then there's times where Ben Johnson really has it going, and they've got some fun players. They have Roman Dunze. They have DJ Moore. They have DeAndre Swift, who looks good at running back at times. They have Monangai, who has filled in well when Swift couldn't go. And then you look at the other side of the field, and you could say the same thing about the Steelers. The Steelers are in a division where they're still in first, but it's shaky. But we talked about that AFC North. The Steelers are also very much a roller coaster team. There's times where Jaylen Warren looks great running the ball, and then they mysteriously go away from him. They start using Kenneth Gainwell. Mason Rudolph came in and filled in for Aaron Rodgers last week when Aaron Rodgers had that issue with his wrist. He looked okay. Will Aaron Rodgers play? There's times where Aaron Rodgers looks horrible, and there's times where you're like, okay, I see why the Steelers went out and got him. Maybe he still has some things left. Maybe he can play his way into another contract next year, and reportedly the Steelers want him back. But also the Steelers defense, you don't know whether they're going to show up. There's times where they've gotten that respected defense on paper that should be amazing has gotten absolutely destroyed by teams. But then they randomly show up, and it's like, all right, TJ Watt and company they can still do some things. And Jalen Ramsey has played a little better than I thought he would. I got to give credit where credit is due. So both of these teams, it's a bit of a roller coaster matchup. You put them together, I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm going to be in on it.
So I'm looking at the injury report for the Steelers. Rodgers is questionable. He was actually limited. He was in limited practice on Friday. But he's questionable. Alex Highsmith is doubtful. Darius Slay, questionable. Cam Hayward, questionable.
Oh, that's tough.
So it's going to be an interesting. Like, hey, this is a surprising pick, but at the same time, it's certainly a game to watch because, like, as we mentioned on Tuesday's show, the Bears.
They're in
first in the NFC North. And I know Julie from Michigan has got ringing in her ears, and she's going to say, I hate this so much. But here we are.
I'm sorry, Julie. I'm sorry.
Here we are. Some comments in the comment section. Corner Booth joining us saying, MILF, man, I love football. And I definitely can tell this is Matt who's controlling the switches. The Jets, not so much.
Oh, man.
I get you. Thanks for.
And I will say, shout out to Corner Booth, because I remember it was a season or two ago. We had Jared on, and he was the one. He said, don't sleep on Davis Mills. I've been watching tape. Davis Mills is better than you think. And you know what? He's reminding us right now. So shout out to you, Jared. You called this one early.
That's right. And Kevin jumped in the chat. I think he might be a little bit behind, but he says, I don't think I was the only one in the mood last night.
Yeah, he and Dad were going back and forth a little bit. I was in there. I was like, "Come on, Mom and Dad, it's okay." No.
And corner booth saying "Long Neck McGee." Oh man, hey, look, Davis Mills could be great if he's he's a free agent. I believe he's a free agent in the offseason. He might be a backup quarterback that most teams are going to be looking at. So
Yeah, well, and that Damon Pierce, speaking of former Texans running backs, they released Damon Pierce. I believe it was
wow,
yesterday. I
okay,
mean, we couldn't believe that. That was more news. I couldn't believe that. They gave up on him early. He had a solid rookie campaign and then
he
just
did.
kind of fell off a cliff,
Yeah,
man.
that's sad. All right, speaking of sad, the friends and family game of Week 12. I'm gonna have Dustin start off here for his friends and family game of Week 12.
Am I picking the Raiders? No, I've picked the Raiders much too much this season. I'm sorry. I know that press conference, that Pete Carroll press conference, man. Pete, you got to make some changes. I'm sorry. But for me, it's the Jets and the Ravens. And I'm sorry, Ryan. I don't
That's
want to do
okay.
this.
I don't want to watch it either.
I know that. I know Tyrod gets the start this week, and I think that's going to
No,
have.
I was told. No, I was told we had to pronounce it correctly. We have to say.
Yes,
We have to call him
Tyrod.
Tyrod.
All right, thanks, Baker Mayfield, Tyrod.
Mm,
All right, I know Tyrod gets the start this week, and I think
yes.
that will have a bit of an impact for the Jets. I think no disrespect to Justin Fields, but I think Tyrod will elevate the quarterback play a bit, but it's still going to be an uphill climb for the Jets.
Mhm.
The Ravens, as you noted last week, Ryan, you talked about how they're on a bit of a heater. They're kind of getting it going, and I think the combo of Jackson and Derrick Henry, along with some timely Mark Andrews touchdowns, it's going to happen. Everybody,
Yep.
it's going to be too much for the Jets to keep up with. Garrett Wilson, he's missing more times, so they don't have their number one. It's you're leaving it up to Adonai Mitchell and Jonathan Mechie to try to step up. I mean, this is the Jets' offense will run through Brees Hall, pun intended,
For
and
sure.
that could be tough sledding for them. It's tough for any team when you become one dimensional. Maybe this one will surprise us. Maybe it'll be our game of the year of the week, but I don't think so. This one's going to be tough.
Before I get to my game, my friends and family game, corner booth. I think it's still Matt. He says, Ryan, tell me why Davis Mills is a bridge starter for the Jets. Unfortunately, makes sense. The never-ending bridge roller coaster. It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense because while he's not going to be a full-time starter, he'll at least give some leeway for the first, I think, probably couple months of next year of 2026 to give a chance for whoever comes in as the freshly minted quarterback of the future, franchise quarterback of the future for the Jets, a chance to learn and a chance to see things in real NFL time, the speed of the game, in real time before he goes on the field and sees everything. Shout out to corner booth though. They had a guest. They had Cruz from who was with Belly Up Sports back in the days. Now I think with Barstool,
Oh
Cruz
wow.
Oxenrider. He had a big scoop, college football scoop, and they put it on their socials. You want to check that out if you're a college football fan. This is in regards to a couple of SEC teams. So he's got a big scoop. They got a big scoop, and they put it on their socials, and it's blowing up right now. So if you're a college football fan, go to their socials, check it out, and see what the scoop is, and let them know if you agree or if you disagree. I kind of disagree because I think this particular coach will be the next coach of the New York Giants. That's just my opinion. We
Oh,
talked about this. We talked about this last Tuesday.
it's LK, huh?
Yeah.
LK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My friends and family game of Week 12: Falcons at the Saints. Kirk Cousins, Tyler Shook. No one cares. This is the biggest. This is the game of the year when it comes to the friends and family game of the week. The Saints are currently projected to pick fourth in the NFL draft, according to Tankathon, while the Falcons are playing for absolutely nothing because their first round pick goes to the LA Rams in 2026. They're currently picking eighth. So at least the one highlight of this game will be the fact that Drew Brees is returning to New Orleans, not as a starting quarterback, I'm sorry to say, Saints fans, but as a color commentator in the booth because he's replaced Mark Sanchez, who is currently awaiting trial, unfortunately. But this is the only highlight of that game is Drew Brees returning to makes his return to New Orleans in the booth for Fox Sports with Adam Amin as your play-by-play guy and Christina Pink as your sideline reporter. So these two games were going to make you say, thank God for NFL Red Zone. So those are our friends and family games for Week 12 in the NFL. Players to watch in Week 12. I was going to pick Jonathan Taylor, but I think that both of us have picked him way too many times this year.
Yeah,
although he deserves it because
I
believe he should get MVP of the NFL this year, but it's probably going to go to another quarterback because it's a glorified quarterback award now. But speaking of quarterbacks, my pick is Jordan Love. Guess what time it is, folks? We're in the most wonderful time of the year, and that time is Toyota-thon. That's right. This is the week that Toyota-thon Jordan Love could shine. Yes, it's a meme. And no, I don't care if Packers fan is sick of hearing about it. He's facing a better than expected Vikings defense that is starting to get their personnel back. They're starting to get healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they stink. Let's face facts. JJ McCarthy, he ain't it unless he's got a running back to help him. I said this to Vikings fan throughout the season. They need a running back. Aaron Jones, God love him. Yeah. He ain't it. So the last time the Packers played at home, they laid a gigantic egg against the Carolina Panthers. And let's see if they can bounce back at home against a less than stellar Vikings team. And I want to look at Jordan Love in particular to see if Toyota-thon Jordan Love emerges from the ashes and brings the Packers to the playoffs where they won't get past the second round. On defense, because I got to say it, we got to bring it out. We got to play it.
Can't have him locked up. He's important to the defense.
Shout out to our tribal chief.
Yeah.
Lizel Hefe. I got Jaycee Horn, the Carolina Panthers. They're playing on Monday night. It's their chance to shine in front of a national television audience in Santa Clara. They're playing the Panthers, and the Panthers are currently a half game behind Tampa Bay for first place in the NFC South. How crazy is that? This is a crazy year. Again, the NFL 2025. It's drunk. Yeah. It's a drunk season. It's going to continue to get drunker as the holidays come through. And being the Niners on national television, especially if the Buccaneers lose on Sunday night against the Rams, you could see them in first place next week after this week. So I'm curious to see how Jaycee Horn's going to play out against whoever's going to be wide receiver one for the Niners this week. Because we don't know who wide receiver one is right now.
Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings.
Yep.
Who knows?
Who knows? So those are my players to watch in Week 12. How about you, Dustin? Your players to watch in Week 12.
All right. Well, I might draw some ire from some people here. Do it. All eyes for me are on a pair of quarterbacks, both in Ohio. First of all, Joe Burrow. I want to see how he looks.
I was going to say Jordan Sayan. Julian Sayan, excuse me, from Ohio State. No.
Oh yes. No, but
could he go Super Saiyan this week?
The first one is Joe Burrow. I want to see how he looks because apparently he's practicing and there was a chance he might come back this week. I don't know if he's going to.
Dustin, hold on a second. I got some breaking news.
Okay.
Yep, I got to play the bumper. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's all right. Bumper.
But an hour ago on ESPN, per Ben Baby, who is his name is Ben Baby, the beat reporter for the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow will not be activated for the Patriots game.
Okay. All right. So that takes out one of my players.
Honestly, kind of sucks because I wanted to see him play and beat the Patriots because, Anyway.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the assist, my friend. Thank you
you're
for
welcome.
the assist.
You're welcome.
That takes one of the quarterback. But my eyes are still on Ohio, and people are going to be mad at me right now. I know it. But I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be looking at Shedeur Sanders.
Hey, there it
100%.
is.
I'm going to be looking at Shedeur Sanders. Okay, I have. Do I agree with the way that he's handled some things or his attitude at times? No, but I also, if you're the Browns, what do you have to lose?
Right.
We've seen what Dylan Gabriel can do, and it's not looking good so far. Okay, put it in Shedeur. He's going to get a full week to practice with the Browns offense because that his loyalists, his fans said, well,
Damn.
imagine what he could do if he actually had an off season to practice with the first, like Gabriel did, and blah blah blah. Well, now he had a week to practice with the first. So let's see what's going on because there is no denying he does have some talent. Do I agree with Mel Kiper and his infamous rant? The jury's still out on that. But Shedeur's got some talent, and something needs to be done with that Cleveland offense because if you want an expert level course in how to waste an absolutely stacked defense, look what Cleveland's done. All right.
Yeah.
This defense, it's a shame because Cleveland's defense is the real deal, but they've had nothing to speak of on offense. And I want to see if Shedeur can inject a little life. Let's see if he's got that big arm everybody talks about. Let's see if he can do it at the next level. Give the kid a chance. Let's see what he's got.
There was an interesting tweet this week. I had to find it. I can't remember who it was. I think it was who used to be it was a backup quarterback in the NFL. I think it was Cade McNown.
Oh,
he was giving the realities of being a backup quarterback in the NFL and how, this came after the Shedeur Sanders playing in the game against the Ravens this past in week 11.
Mm-hmm.
And he said basically the cold reality of playing backup in the NFL is that, you don't get a lot of chances to play with the first team unless you're going to be playing. So getting shoved in there as a cold, like being a cold goaltender when the starting goalie gets pulled in hockey.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's going to happen. Like, so all these stands and saying that he did a great job and this and that. It's like, no, he didn't. He had a terrible game. He was 4 of 13, 6 of 13, something like that. Did not have a great game and it seemed like the offense just gave up on him, which is, a little unfair. But again, he's coming in cold after Dylan Gabriel suffered a concussion. So I mean, this is as our friend of the show, Rod Pearson, said, this is basically a game that is for the morbidly curious.
Yeah.
The Raiders and the Browns. Like I could have named it my friends and family game of the week. I didn't because you had put Shedeur Sanders as your player to watch in week 12. So I didn't want to give up that. I didn't want to crap on your pick.
No.
Partially why I didn't have that game as the friends and family game of the week. So
you could have. I can take it.
Nah. But Saints and Falcons, they're not playing for anything this week, so that's why I put them in there. But yeah, I'm morbidly curious to see, and I'll be watching Red Zone tomorrow. I'll be morbidly curious to see how Shedeur Sanders plays, and I think the entire league and they're saying the same thing. Like, okay, well, Cleveland drafted him in the 5th round. Mel Kiper got all but hurt because he said he was a top 5 pick, sure top five pick. And by the way, where's Mel Kiper? Where is he? Hasn't been seen since. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a thing to watch. And yeah, Cleveland's defense is probably going to clean up against this brutal Raiders offense that has 2 players and that's it.
Yeah. And the thing is, as much as and Dan did it to me last night, he brought up Pete Carroll as his BS of the week because I've defended Pete Carroll because I'll always respect him for what he did for the Seahawks. He is undoubtedly one of the best coaches in the history for the Seattle Seahawks. But Dan's point is true. Pete, you got to adjust. Geno has been horrible this year. And if there's a defense that can be had right now in the NFL, as much as Pete Carroll's a defensive head coach, the Raiders defense doesn't have it this year. So Shedeur could flash against this Raider defense for sure.
Yeah. The Jets and the Raiders are looking in a mirror at each other right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, they have they have solid talent on the offensive side of the ball with talented running back and a talented future tight end. On the other side of the ball, they have one or two good guys on defense, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, your Uncle Al saying, Joe Burrow, a.k.a. Dustin Henry lookalike.
He always says it. He always says this. I don't know. People are like, I don't know if I see it. You know, sometimes with the hair, I could see it a little bit. But Joe's a nice looking man.
Yeah. Decent looking dude. All right. We're going to move on to our picks for the Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
All right. So for week 12, here's what we got on tap. Dustin going with the Homer pick, picking his Seattle Seahawks to absolutely trample the Tennessee Titans. He's got two bird teams in here. You got the Eagles to beat the Cowboys. His upset pick is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, possibly shocking the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday night. As for me, I'm picking against my team, and I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens. I'm picking the Lions to beat the Giants, and my upset pick, I've got the Carolina Panthers beating these guys.
Duval.
It doesn't get old to me.
It never gets old. I'm gonna wear that thing out, even after he's let go after 3 seasons with the Jaguars. I'm not...
Oh man, Rystradamus, play the Thunder.
Hold on. Okay.
I love how we cut it off. Now.
We have to cut it off. We can't hear each other when we talk over the sound.
I know.
StreamYard. Anyway, those are our picks for Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge. Oh, let me bring it back on the screen because we got shout out our presenter. Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge for week 12, presented by Royal Retros, the king of throwbacks. Save 10% off with promo code CREDHEAD at checkout at royalretros.com. Plus free and fast shipping with every order over $100 or more. So those are our picks for the Cut the Breaks Pick'em Challenge for week 12 of the NFL.
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches! Yeah! What?
And finally, we're going to conclude our episode of No Credentials Required to talk about our favorite athletes to wear number 85. Now, be warned for this episode and probably the next 3 episodes, I'm breaking out this button. Homer alert! For myself especially. And it's starting with number 85. And my favorite athlete to wear the number 85, New York Jets wide receiver from the 1970s and the 1980s, Wesley Walker. Drafted in the second round, 33rd overall by the New York Jets in the 1977 NFL Draft out of California. Finished second in the rookie honors and in Rookie of the Year honors in 1977. Tony Dorsett ran away with the award, no pun intended, because he literally ran the Cowboys to the Super Bowl that season. Broke out in the 1978 season when he led the league in receiving yards per reception, and yards per game, earning All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors with 1,169 yards on only 48 receptions.
Wow.
Yeah. All-Pro. Also was named to the Pro Bowl that season. He was also named to the Pro Bowl in 1982. In 154 games played, 438 receptions, 8,306 yards, 71 touchdowns, second in all categories in New York Jets history to Don Maynard, whose records might never be broken in all 3 categories. 7 playoff games, 27 receptions, 486 yards, 3 touchdowns. Inducted into the New York Jets Ring of Honor in 2012 alongside Mark Gastineau, another one of my favorite athletes, one of my favorite New York Jets from that era, from the New York Sack Exchange. Best known for his performance against the Miami Dolphins, an important date in Jets history, September 21st, 1986. We're coming up on the 40th anniversary of that game. Oh, God, I'm old.
Man.
When he had 6 receptions for 194 yards and 4 touchdowns in one of the wildest games I ever seen, 51-45 win over the Dolphins at Giant Stadium, a shootout for the ages in that 1986 game. All these stats, all these things happen for him while being legally blind in his left eye. That's amazing.
Yeah, that blew me away. Because obviously everybody, Ryan and I have to share a document. We have to do some show prep. When I saw that last night, I went, wow. Because you're educating me right now.
Yeah, and I saw a nice article on where are they now on NewYorkJets.com from 2019. He actually stayed in the area, in the New York area. He lives on Long Island, earned a master's degree from Mercy College in psychology from Mercy College, and became a teacher. Also worked with athletes on the side. And after he retired the second time as a teacher, he and his wife run a business in the New York, Long Island area called Companionship Aid Services, and they help the elderly out. So as of this recording, he's in his 70s. So I know he's on Twitter, so I'll try to cut this clip and tag him in it and give him his flowers, because he was one of my favorite receivers growing up as a New York Jet. Again, I've made my point as to why I'm a New York Jets fan. I won't recite it. You can check it out on our shorts on the YouTube channel. But Wesley Walker was arguably my favorite receiver from that New York Jets era, and from that era of the 1980 the NFL in the 1980s. So that's my favorite number 85. Dustin, who is your favorite athlete to wear number 85?
The thing is, and before I start, I want to acknowledge this person had some off-field issues. And normally this pick would go against my grain, because normally cockiness rubs me the wrong way. T.O., as much as I will always take my hat off to him for essentially playing on one leg during 2004 in the playoffs for the Eagles, that was unbelievable. T.O. kind of rubbed me the wrong way throughout his career. Certain receivers with this mindset, but for some reason, my pick for number 85, he didn't rub me the wrong way, because for about a 5-year period, he backed up everything he said. Yes, he jumped the shark for me a little bit when he changed his name to Ocho Cinco, but he's changed it back now, everybody. I'm talking about Chad Johnson. I always loved Chad Johnson because he was unbelievable as a Bengals receiver, drafted in 2001 out of Oregon, I believe. I believe he played for the Ducks. And he was, I think people forget because they remember him now for the name change. They remember him for infamously getting released by the Dolphins. They remember him for some of the off-field issues. But go back, if you're a young person, go back and watch tape of Chad Johnson playing. He was fast. He was unbelievably fast. He once beat a horse in a sprint. Now, he got in a 100-meter head start on the horse, but I mean, it's a human being going up against a horse. And even the jockey was like, wow, that man is fast. Okay, there's video of it. You can see it. I remember him for sending the entire Browns secondary Pepto-Bismol a week before he faced them, because he said after the game, they're going to need it. He lit the Browns up. He tore them apart. He backed up. That's the thing. For about 4 to 5 years, he backed up every bit of trash talk he had. Sometimes it created controversy off the field, but he usually, and this is the key difference, this is why he didn't rub me the wrong way a lot of times, he would do it and he'd do something charitable with it. The race against the horse, a charity race. Yep. The list, the infamous list that he had, where he said, did this person cover 85? He had a list, and people could vote on whether they successfully covered 85 or they didn't. Every vote went to helped donate money to his charity. So he was, and I found him funny. He busted out the gold jacket in a game infamously that said future Hall of Famer, but his game, go back and look at the numbers he had in that game. They were unbelievable. Now, he holds a lot of the Bengals wide receiving records. He is in the Bengals Ring of Honor. And guess what, everybody? The Bengals teams that he was on, they had a little bit of a run, but there were times where they were not good either because they didn't have a defense, and also Carson Palmer got injured, but he kind of, especially like I said, for a 4 or 5 year run, he did it with anybody, whoever was throwing the ball, and he was
John Kitna, Carson Palmer.
Yes.
Joe Burrow wasn't playing then. He was in 2020, but
no.
Usually it was John Kitna or Carson Palmer. John
Kitna was the longtime backup. And, the thing is, say what you want about Bill Belichick too, but he signed Chad Johnson towards the end of his career, not based on Chad's athleticism, although Chad never shy about his athleticism. He had a very Muhammad Ali feel to him. He was the greatest at everything. But the thing is, when Chad backed it up, he backed it up for a while there. But Belichick signed, famously, he said, I signed Chad Johnson because I think he's a smart football player. It's not, I knew he wasn't the athlete that he once was, but I thought he was a smart football player. He could help us out. Chad Johnson, I just found him endlessly entertaining. And I'll never forget a clip on ESPN from back in the day when he was playing with Carson Palmer. And it was like a Newlyweds spoof where Carson had to answer questions about Chad and vice versa. And you knew that they just knew each other very well. And without batting an eye, they said to Carson, they said, what did Chad say fuels the 4.2 speed? And he said it was McDonald's French fries and red Kool-Aid. And sure enough, Chad Johnson comes out. Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson got every question right about each other. They had a connection, those two. It was fun to watch.
I one distinct memory of Chad Johnson I remember. It was in 2009. I think he had named himself Chad Ochocinco at that point.
Yeah.
I remember him. It was week 17 against the Jets, and Darrelle Revis was covering him. He was on the island for a full game, actually 2 games, because they met each other in the playoffs the next week. Yeah. He said it was on Sunday night. The Jets had to win to get a wild card spot. He said, if I can't get a reception against Darrelle Revis, I'll change my name back to Chad Johnson. No receptions that game. Never changed his name back to Chad Johnson until much later.
Until 2012. So he did not keep his word that time, man.
So 2 fun facts about Chad Johnson. He did play a season in the CFL with my Montreal Alouettes in 2014. 7 receptions, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. He also signed a contract with an NPSL NPSL team, Boca Raton FC.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's no record of him actually playing. But it's a semi-pro team and semi-pro soccer team based in Boca Raton, Florida. But there's no record of him actually playing in the game, making an appearance in the game, getting a cap, all that kind of stuff. Your uncle's saying David Tyree, obvious reasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And says before signing off, shout out to the enforcer.
Yeah. Kevin. Kenny
Easley. Yes.
Kenny Easley unfortunately passed away. We talked about it on Seahawks sessions. If you're interested in hearing more, specifically Kevin's memories of watching Kenny play, go back and check out that episode. And shout out to the Seahawks. They've already got a patch honoring the enforcer that they will wear on their uniforms for the rest of the season.
Yes. And some further news about Joe Burrow. He will not be activated. This is per Adam Schefter on Twitter.
Okay.
Bengals are not activating Joe Burrow by today's 4 p.m. deadline, which means he will not play tomorrow. He will not play tomorrow, but he will play on Thanksgiving night against Baltimore.
All right.
Or he'll be activated at least. I don't know if he'll play, but he'll be activated against Baltimore on Thursday night and on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for our show. Before we go, though, we will have a show on Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We will have our Thanksgiving special which is next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys documentary. Yes, we're a little bit late, but because again, it's a theme. The Dallas Cowboys play on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We have to talk about this documentary, which I gotta say, the first couple episodes, I will say, as a spoiler, we're kind of like, I kind of know this about this stuff. But then you talk about the firing of Jimmy Johnson. It's like, oh, get the popcorn.
Yeah. Yep. That's where I spoiler everybody. Most of my Saturday plans will probably involve wrapping that up. I think I'm 5 episodes in. I got a little bit more, so I'm gonna wrap it up, spend Saturday.
So we'll have 3 shows next week. 2 will be on podcast. Will be released later on a podcast, and Thursdays will be. I'll have to talk to leadership about this, but we're gonna have it exclusively on our social media channels, so they won't be on podcast audio later. They'll be exclusively on our social media channels. But again, also stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We're gonna be moving towards shifting not only towards podcast exclusively. We're not going to be doing just podcast exclusive content, but we're also going to be doing some short story content. We're going to try to release some little known sports stories in long form content once or twice a week. Probably starting in Jan. Well, I'll release a sneak preview sometime next month, but probably starting in the new year when the NFL slows down. We're going to really ramp up the content there on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. But in the meantime, we got to get out of here. But in the meantime, follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also check out our other podcasts and written content at bellyupsports.com. On the podcast side, hit the subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, and Podbean. Freshly brewed podcasts. And hit that notification bell on Twitter and on YouTube so you know when we go live, when we have show clips or other long-form content go up, and when we have general announcements go up on the channel. Also, make sure to visit our affiliate sponsor, righteousfelon.com. For a limited time, you get 20% off your order with every plus free shipping over $100 using promo code NOCREDS at checkout. You help the show and you visit a great sponsor, stocking stuffer gifts. You want to check them out for sure. So we're going to get out of here. Thank you for tuning in to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are proudly presented by Belly Up Sports. For Dustin Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll return to review all of Week 12, all the upsets, all the disappointments, all the game of the week of the year, and more. So tune in at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter with replay on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. Have a safe and happy weekend. Enjoy all the football.
Good morning, everybody.